now these are more of the best ones, both critically and what I personally liked as well. Get Out. I had a lot of trouble getting into Get Out. I know a lot of people adored Get Out. But when I first walked in and walked out of theater, I thought, I know this was a horror film. I thought, this is personally, I walked out feeling a little bit offended. I know it was directed by Jordan Peele. I felt offended because I thought that the movie was racist. It was intentionally racist. Wasn't my kind of horror film, to be honest with you. After a while, I kind of thought about it, and I think that it wasn't, in my personal opinion, it wasn't super, super good. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if it's nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards and Golden Globes this year. I think that Get Out was original. It was pretty comical at times. There was a character in that movie that was pretty comical, especially at the ending. Well, depending on the alternate endings. The ending that I saw was one of the alternate endings. And I thought that the ending was kind of funny and a bit chilling. Overall, I thought, Get Out's not so bad after all. A lot of people did not really like this movie for various reasons. That movie was The Shack. But I liked it because it had a great lesson. The lesson is forgiveness. If you want to learn about forgiveness, even though it may not be the correct kind of movie for some people, I recommend that you watch The Shack so that you can learn a thing or two about forgiveness. Another horror film that I absolutely adored, actually two of them, Annabelle Creation and It. When I saw Annabelle Creation, this is for those that didn't see my video, Annabelle Creation Experience, I went to the theater and I was reunited with an old high school friend of mine, and it was absolutely scary. I was terrified at Annabelle Creation. I was so scared that my whole body just froze. I couldn't move. Like, even when I started moving, my hands were, like, falling asleep, even though it was just a really terrifying... I thought it was a very terrifying movie, and I loved Annabelle Creation. It was a good remake. Now, the thing about the original It was a television movie for the early 90s. It wasn't as scary. A lot of people would see it today and it would just be comical. Even still, if it was on television, it'd be more comical. But now, with Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, I would say that this remake of Stephen King's It was fabulous. And I know the original It and the 2017 remake of It, because this one was set in 1989, 1988, 1989, into the early 90s, and the original was set in the various decades for the 27 years that they would reunite and be back. But, you know, this one I thought was fabulous for the acting. Everything is for the acting and for the scares. This one sure had the best scares. Bill Skarsgård is the best horror actor of this generation and for the decade to follow. Hands down. Despite his heartbreaking fall from grace, I still enjoy Baby Driver. I do. I saw that 2 times in the theater. This was Kevin Spacey's last movie that was released before his downfall. But what I liked about Baby Driver, besides the acting, was the action. It was completely original. I've never seen an action movie with such an original plot. Kid, sure, he had a bad childhood, but he got raised by a crime lord, underground crime syndicate, and had to become the getaway driver, got rich, paid off his debts, and had perhaps the best villain played by Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, I thought, played an awesome villain in Baby Driver. I think that Jamie Foxx has to play bad guys like this more in his movies. I love Jamie Foxx as the villains.